Hello lovelies and welcome to the channel. It's Chrissy here with you today, and it's my turn to share with you my first project using the fantastic July kits. So if you hear a random child in the background, I do apologise. It is still the school holidays here in New South Wales. 4 more days to go and counting. So I'm starting with some plain white cardstock, because we all know that as soon as I saw these awesome watercolours, we knew I was going to have to use them on a layout. So I've gone with just plain white so I can do an awesome background with the watercolors. I have gone through, this is a picture of Cooper at the DSA Surfing Day, and that's the Disability Surfing Association. And it was back, when was it actually? Early, I think it was in like, it was February, that's right, so I remember I put the date on it. It was back in February, and yeah, my boys enjoyed some surfing with these awesome people. They take them, a whole group of them, take them out on the board and, you know, ride back in with them. It was a great day. The boys had a fantastic time, and I have some really great photos from it. And I've been put off scrapping them because, well, you know, when you just have these awesome photos and you want to do them justice, but you're scared you're going to wreck them and it's not going to look as good as you hope. That's one of my biggest fears when it comes to scrapbooking, that I have these awesome photos and I'm not going to do them justice. But they are digital, and if I don't like it, I can just redo it. So I'm trying to get over that fear and just scrap my photos. So that's what I'm starting with. I've picked this photo. I like the colours, they're nice and bright, and I thought would go really good with a watercoloured background and the colours in the kit. So I am double matting the photo. I'm really trying hard to work on layers. I've said it before in my last few videos as well. And this paper, I love it, and it sort of gives the, you know, the illusion of layers as well, because it's all different paint strokes and things. But yeah, I'm trying. So I'm just inking the background so that that's going to stand off that white cardstock mostly. And then I'm going to come in with the watercolors now. To start with, it was a little tense. It didn't look as good as I was hoping, but water and blending, that's all it took. I just needed to add more water and blend a bit more, and in the end I really do like it. So I use my blues. Don't ask me why I try the pink first. As you can see, I had some blue left on my brush, so just cleaning off my brush. I was considering bringing in some pink to work in some of the embellishments, but in the end I don't like it, so I just go with the blues and the greens. So I think this probably took the longest of my layout. As you can see, it's looking a little weird. It's not looking great, but in the end it works really well. I just I add more water, I blend more, and yeah, I really like how it turns out. So these watercolors came in the mixed media kit, which, as we all know, is always my favorite. And I'm really looking forward to experimenting with these and seeing what else I can do. So I'm looking forward to playing with these. So I think this is probably the longest part of my layout, just getting the colours right and the blending right. It looks weird to begin with, obviously, but once I add the water and blend it more, it comes together really well, and I'm really happy with it. Then I get my photo to check the placement and just make sure that I'm happy with how much I have. And yeah, so this, yeah, it took the longest part. See, there's my pretty photo. This took the longest of my layout, but I really like how it worked out in the end. Obviously I went with blue because it was a beautiful day at the beach, and I just felt that the blue and that green, as well as the yellow in the photo, just really worked well together. Like I was saying, this is a picture of Cooper at our DSA Surf Day, which just so happens to be the title I end up using. The people in this picture is the group that Cooper went out with. So all of these people in this picture work together to help these kids have a surfing experience, I guess you could say. One person rides with them on the board, and the rest of the people either carry them out on the board, turn them around, and then help them catch the wave in, and then they guide the surfboard all the way up to the front. It's a really great experience for these kids. It's a very busy day, lots of people. It's yeah, lots of families, but it's really great. My boys had a fantastic time, and Will, who is my youngest, I honestly did not think he'd get on the board, but he did. Both of them did, and they had a fantastic time. It was a lot of fun. So this is my awesome picture. I was going to use the wood veneer as my title, but then I remembered one of the branding strips had an awesome saying on it that I thought would work great, and it's something about life being an adventure. I can't quite read it, and I thought that would work even better. And then of course I decided to do a title anyway, but I liked this as an embellishment. So in my sorting out video of where I put my kit, show you how I store my kit, I did mention that I keep all of my branding strips, and this is exactly why. You can use them as embellishments or as fake washi, all sorts of things, and the Kaiser ones generally do have nice sayings and things. So yeah, this is why I keep all my branding strips. It ended up being just perfect for this layout too. I decided to pop it up on some foam because I wanted to give it a bit of dimension. So I get some of my double-sided tape out, cut off a thin piece of foam, and then layer it on top of my photo. Now, once I finish fiddling with this tape and foam, I'm going to start embellishing. Now, when I first start a kit, I find embellishing to be the hardest part because there's just so much. Now, I know I'm not the only one. I know there are a few people that feel the same. When you've just gotten a new kit, there's so much in there that you want to work with that you want to use it all, and it can be really hard to limit what you're going to use and just try and make it all work. At least that's how I feel. So as you can see, I've pulled out some embellishments and things from the die cut, some wood veneer, all things that I thought I would use. Would you be surprised to know that I don't use any of it? I sure wasn't. So I adhere my photo down, and then I think about making some of the embellishments work. Now I go for some yellow, mostly because of the rashi that Cooper has on. Now they used coloured rashis to identify who was who. So blue were the volunteers, red was the team leader, yellow was the surfer, and then I think they had a grey for the primary carer of each surfer. So it was all colour coded so you could identify who was who. So that's Koopy in the bright yellow jersey, rashi I mean. So I thought about bringing in some yellow, but yeah, thankfully I don't. I'm going through the tabs and I think of getting a yellow tab out, but in the end I'm glad I don't, because it reminded me of confetti. It was more of a party type thing, so I ditched the yellow idea. In the end I get a black tab. Turns out there's one left in the bag that works quite well. I don't usually use tabs often. I don't know why. I think I just find them hard to use. It works out well in this case, especially because I've got the double layers. So it worked out perfectly. So I get a black tab, put that in there, ditch the yellow arrow, thank goodness, because it just was not going to work. And I move on to my title. Now, I love these thickers because they're small enough that you can use them like for bigger words. Ever have a really nice thicker that you like, but the alpha's too big so you can't do a big title? Well, in this case I decided to do DSA Surf Day, and I love that they're smaller so that it all fits beautifully. I have also, and this is a special hint coming up, a little sneaky peek, I've also used these alphas on a photo in my project life, so that's why I love them. They're just small enough that they fit for things like that, but they're big enough to give it that nice pop of wow factor. So stick around for that because that's pretty cool. I love using thickers on photos in my project life. I really like that look that it gives. So this is my title, DSA Surf Day, just putting that down, and then I'm going to do some quick journaling underneath that, just to I didn't want too much. I did think about putting it on some copy paper like I usually do, but in the end I wanted to bring more black in. As you can see, I've got the black from the tab, I've got the title, I end up drawing a border around as well, so I just wanted to bring some more black in. So I just draw some hand-drawn lines and then do my journaling on that, so that way it just brings in another element, and then more of that black as well. Hand-drawn borders are one of my most favorite things to add to layouts, especially mixed media layouts and layouts done on white cardstock. I feel it gives it another element, especially a mixed media layout, and then also especially boy layouts as well, because it can be hard to embellish boyish layouts. I find that a hand-drawn border is very grungy looking. Well, when I do it scribbly and add all sorts of things like little squiggles and stuff on the edges, and I find that it just gives it another a little grungy element to it. So I do hand drawn borders on the majority of my layouts because the majority of my layouts are mixed media layouts anyway, and it's just a nice way to ground the layout. So as opposed to matting it on cardstock, I do a hand drawn border. Another one of my favorite things in the kits is always the printables. Now the printables coordinate with the kits perfectly, and there's always some really fun things on there that you can use as embellishment. So that's what I've done. I was going to get the green one that said, I can't remember now, but it was there a minute ago. But in the end, I go with the black, the having fun, because I'm trying to bring some more black into this because I didn't want to overload with any more color. I liked the blue and the green that I had going, and black is always a good tone to bring in when you don't want to overload with any more color. It sort of grounds the whole layout together. Does that make sense? I know what I'm trying to say, but anyway. So I add that as another little piece underneath my photo cluster. I try and, you know, I'm really trying hard to work on this layering thing. I'm not good at it, but I don't want all my layouts to always look the same. I always have a photo and a cluster here, a cluster there. So by adding layers and little tabs and things, it's something different than what I've done in the past, and, you know, makes my pages not look all the same like cookie cutter pages. Because we know that I do a lot of mixed media on my layouts, and I'm trying to mix it up, but I love mixed media, so I can't drop that element of what I do. So I'm trying to find a way to just make my photos and my scrapbook pages just look a little different. So that was a little sneaky peek at my junk journal. I use junk journals to journal in daily. I keep a daily journal, I have for years, and this year I decided to use junk journals to do it, and I get 3 months to a journal, and that was my first one. I'm going back because I couldn't remember the date and I didn't want to go through my photos on my computer, but I did remember that I had documented it in my journal. So I went through February till I found the date. And yes, I'm trying very hard to remember to put the date on my layouts these days. Otherwise, when I go through my album, it's all over the place and I can never figure out when it was. So that is what I'm working on. I'm working on dating my layouts more and journaling more, because sometimes the photo's just not enough. You really need to include the story, and that's what I like to do. I love the stories behind all these photos that I have. So yes, trying very hard to journal more and remember to put the date. So adding the last little bits of bling, and that's it for my first layout with the July kits. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope I haven't rambled too much. And I hope you will be back real soon with more from the awesome design team with these fantastic kits. I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.